120 minutes. It was a nightmare. So
This is when Napster first came out.
yes, and we were reaching out on the internet to find artists. We were going through message boards and stuff. We found a few artists. One Brazilian guy who totally didn't get what we were going for,
No, they're not at all.
but his art was beautiful. And
You have the picture?
yeah, I still have it. I got to find it. It's amidst my stuff in storage, but I still have it. I came across it, so
It was like really beautiful art. Like
really good.
I was a legit artist, and he gave us this. Well, that was the Noir guy, right?
Yeah, that's the noir guy. Yeah,
He gave us
black and
this
white, a black and white Frodo.
black and white, smoky,
Yeah, he drew it.
Lovecraftian Noir thing going on.
Yes,
But man, it didn't hit.
it did.
It was beautiful, but it's not what we were asking for.
It wasn't what we were going for. So after a while, I lost. I think you lost your job, and then I lost my job, and then we were looking for work, and the comic book thing fell through. So I went back to school. I think either both of us went back to school, or I think you was already in school. You got me to go back to school. And after a while, I started looking into programming, and I'm currently trying to get an IT so I can make more money in order to do what we can to get these prototypes going, because my income is not so great currently. So I'm trying to just get my foot in the door so I can make more money, so I can start investing into our company, because we have so much ready to go, but we're stuck due to the resources. So Westfield and our comic book company was just far beyond our means. We didn't have what we have now in terms of technology, and being able to put ourselves out there, reach out and communicate to artists and stuff like that. None of that was existent. It was far too hard. It was without our means, so we just concentrated on school and work in order to.
Competitions though.
We did, yeah. We didn't put some of our scripts into in for competitions. We got one notable award. uh I think we made it in like the top 25 or something, which was nice. It was online, so you can see where your score was. Now, out of like either 1,000 or 100, we were in like the top 25. But of course, I think it was 1,000. Yeah, we were surprisingly up there, and of course, and they gave you notes. Of course. Yeah. That was many moons ago, and that site doesn't exist. I really wish I was able to get those notes off of that fucking site. So, but
we incorporate those notes.
Yeah, it was encouraging. The top 3 got prizes, but we were able to make it within the evaluation. So I believe the top 50 were able to get their pieces evaluated and get notes written on it. So that was a good experience.
Yeah.
So.
Remember that movie that we did, we got into Slam Dance, and we made it to the round before the final round. It's like, oh yeah.
Yeah, it is. So years past. This is this is when we were fairly much younger, and as we gotten older, I started taking as I taking IT classes, I was also taking programming, and I started going to Santa Monica College. And I realized they had like a robust, wonderful computer and video game developing classes. So I took those, fell in love with this is one of the best forms of storytelling. This is one of the reasons why I fell in love with video games, because there's nothing like it other than comic books that tells the stories that they tell. And it
is the modern form of storytelling.
It is modern sequential art. It's a modern form. It is the only interactive storytelling that I can think of that is mainstream currently. Right now, right now, comic books haven't reached this innovation that it needs to. That we we want to be the frontliners and innovating the comic book company. Again, need those resources. So again, we created a whole company based around improving the the comic book industry, and that with Westfield had to be put on the wayside. So we have a business plan for this comic book company that I'm very proud of, that began our look into starting a business under moral circumstances, and it just grew up as we're hearing all the abuses that are and I've seen it myself. I was a PA in the television and film industry. There's very little respect paid to the employees there. They're not treated well.
Ours that we do know,
Yeah,
like they were getting pennies per page. Like what they paid them is ridiculous.
$100 a day to do 12 to 14 hours of work, sometimes 16, 18.
Yep.
So
it was crazy, and then that's only when you knew the right people to get in.
And that was just as a PA. We're not talking about the commercials industry, with the video game industry and their crunch time, at game testers falling asleep at their stations because they have to show up for work, and you're there for 12. It's just not a great environment for reading. It's not a great creative environment, which is what we want to change by observing what is going wrong when it comes to all of the entertainment industry, which is why we created the BIZness, which hopefully we'll be able to touch upon all of the forms of media and create an environment that is more conductive and more creative and more safe, so we get the best talent. It's going to be hard for anybody to be our competition if we're treating everybody well. The only way that they'll be able to steal from us is to treat them better, which in our opinion is a win-win. So we just want to be able to set the standards of not only coming up with great products, but also with treating our employees fairly great too. And
that goes hand in hand with what we talked about earlier with morale,
yes,
and employee investment and all those things.
That is going to be the greatest asset for our company, especially as a fledgling one, because that's all we'll have. All we'll have is the greatness of our product, which both me and Ian and the other people who are involved with our company truly and fully believe in, communicating it well so there is no confusion and there is no misunderstandings, or it doesn't lead to any ill feelings. We then plan on just focusing on quality, making sure that the customer doesn't feel cheated. We keep our promises when we say, if we mention features and stuff like that, and just getting things right when it comes to communicating what we want to do and what we are able to deliver, which is all going to be through experience.
And we deliver the best complete product.
So that now brings us to our journey into the video game world. So I went to Santa Monica, and when I was there, when I was there for one of my programming classes for C, they wanted us to come up with a concept, and I had this idea for a game. It was a little idea that I really love tower defenses as casual gaming. They're some of my favorites, and I wanted to come up with a fun type of a tower defense game with a effective and deeper than most people would expect storyline. So I came up with the mechanic first. Then in designing the mechanic, I then had an idea about. I am a huge fan of Capcom games. One of the first games that I absolutely loved, even before Castlevania, was a game called Ghouls and Goblins.
One of the hardest games in existence. Oh my goodness.
The hardest goddamn game in existence. and I just like the art style. I like I've never seen anything like it. Music, backgrounds. It was just mood and environment. There was no dialogue, but it told its story. It was like one of the first. It was like Mario with the storyline, even though it was simple. A knight saves the princess, but um, this just had a little bit more mood and environment that affected me. And I wanted to recreate that atmosphere when it came to a tower defense game, but actually apply more story and a few more other bits of surprises that people would like. It would connect, and people want to see the adventure of this particular character. So me and a couple of classmates decided to get together and start a video game club, which turned into a video game company. Yada yada yada. That fell apart, and pretty much all of the stuff that I came up with when it came to that company, I decided, you know what, I'll go back to my comic book partner and ask my comic book partner if he'll be interested in uh, parlaying our comic book dreams and doing a more viable video game company, which with the technology and the resources that we have, we can completely and totally do, or at least get a prototype together to
So
make
if
that
you
work.
haven't heard the chord here, this is numerous ventures that got started, were stress tested, were improved, but then had to be shelved. So if this is for anybody who's out there listening or watching this, that you can have something and love it and passionate about it, build it, have it fall by the wayside, and pick it right back up. And as
Yes.
long as it's still viable, you can still do your business.
Yeah.
A good product is always going to be a good product.
Yes, yes, it is, and sometimes it's just not ready. And like now, faced with the stuff that we are capable of doing with the technology that we have, the stuff that we thought was great can be made into something far more innovative and just like it boggles the mind what we thought was innovative then, what we can transform that into now, and it's very exciting. So I came up with this game, and I'm going to pitch the game because when I wrote this was several years ago, and I have to say something to you, Ian.
What's up?
Castle Guard has changed.
It has.
No. It has changed. A new mechanic has been added that makes the game far better.
Another one.
Another one. Which we will discuss later off camera, because we can't really go in. I hope you understand we can't really go into like the details of our project because you know we
It's
have.
still a project that's out.
Yeah, it's still a project that's not out. It's still in development, and we just don't want to put anything out there that again can be stolen, or that we don't feel is ready for the public ears as of yet, because we want to make sure that it's right before we release it to the public eye. But here, you know what? It's not even really a pitch. I'm going to tell you the concepts that turned into an idea that turned into a summary. So I will lay before you, to Ian, where the idea came from. And I was playing a lot of tower defense games. There was one in particular from Battlegrounds. I can't remember the name of it, which is garbage. Should be far more prepared on that. But actually, it's on my phone. Uno momento. Talk. Talk while I look for a phone.
So basically, Emel was a tower defense junkie.
They're great.
And he played all the tower defense games and all their variation on mobile, on computers, you name it.
Yes.
He was like, well, I can do this, but I can do it and I can incorporate more story elements and really tell a gripping and riveting story. What you generally have from those games is some type of functionality.
Mm.
You have some type of general different mechanic for how the towers are defended and how the enemies proceed. But most of them are graphical in the way that they are represented. Well, we can do all of that, but if you throw in story, then it gives people a level of investment into the story. Like we were talking about earlier, is we want people to be immersed and